Hello, everybody out there in Radio Land. This is Jay with Jay Talks, today's relationship show. And here today again, we have this lovely cast with Lady K, L Dale, and Sister Soldier.
I don't.
All right, and we're glad that you tuned in. And today's show is going to be a very interesting topic. It's about something that we really talk about so much. Like, why do people just cling to those people like saran wrap? You know, cling to people that they really don't want. Why do people just cling to folk that they really don't want? You know, I mean, you hear them, they talk about folk, you know, but they just got to be around them at the same time. That's interesting.
Yeah, but here's a few topics for you. People could cling to other people for financial gain, for security, for the children, for sex. Some just gold diggers. So, if you're in a relationship that's not going anywhere, why stay with that person? Why be miserable and stay with that person? Not because of, per se, the kids, but you're using that as an excuse because of the kids. Because I'm sure the kids going to always know who their daddy or their mama is. So why cling on that person? That person making you so miserable and you don't want you to do nothing in your life. Why hang on to it? What reason? What purpose? If you need it for security or what? What you scared of? Scared of being lonely? Better get you a dog. You can get you a hobby. You can get you a craft. You know, you came into this world by yourself. You're going to leave this world by yourself. So why use security as why use security as a thing to say that that's why you stay with the person? Oh, girl, he got money. He can pay mine, get my nails, did my hair. Get you a job. You can do it yourself.
You know what just went through my mind after you said that?
What?
Nobody ever mentioned this, but it could possibly be mental issues.
It could be mental issues. Yeah. No, I don't think everybody that look crazy in this is. That's
the clinging thing. The mental issues. Think about it.
Well, to a certain part, but look.
Because if you want somebody for the money, and you're not thinking about anything else but that money, you know, that's kind of, you know, that's far-fetched in a way.
Yeah, but that water.
I mean, because money can't bring you everything.
Yeah, but that's kind of a brainwash because society tells you.
That's new.
No, that's craziness. Well, that's controlling because that's really controlling because society tells you, well, if you buy this deodorant, you smell this good. Or if you buy this shampoo, your hair look like this, or this conditioner, your hair. So society is brainwashing you to think that. You have to think, let's see, spiritually. Okay? I like that. You have to think spiritually why you hanging on this man. What did this man or this woman get?
I like that.
That makes you want to still hang on, even though they don't want you. You can't make nobody love.
That's right.
But it's something interesting you said. You said it's about control. You know, control.
Well, who want to be controlled?
But that's it.
But it is. That's it. Because you know they try to control you. think about it. The whole why did you even stop fooling around with this person in the beginning? It had been some type of issue in your relationship that made you say, whoa, stop, I don't want this. And then this person just doesn't want to let go. They trying to, like even with children, they try to use that as a control issue to keep you involved into the relationship. They try to use finances as a way to control you, to try to keep you all into the relationship.
Okay, I understand that, but that's still talking a little bit like slavery. Break them chains, baby. Break them chains, baby, and put it down, let it go.
But they do, some people will say that, I like what Jeff said about like saran wrap. Now the thing about saran wrap is it's clear. You can see through it. You can see through some saran wrap, but it's still gonna bind whatever it is that it's trying to hold. Now sometimes people try to cling to you, and it's clear. Their intent is not necessarily seen, and they try to make it seem like it's one way, but it's another way.
But majority of the people who cling or hold on to somebody they want, they really don't want them. They want to, I understand the using part, they want to use them, but after a while, everything is old, everything you get tired of it.
They may not want that person, but they want what that person did to them, did for them, or
okay.
I'm just saying.
That's like getting
they got sprung.
Yeah, that's what
that's
it
like
is.
getting high for the very first time, and you go the second time, and you can't get that first high that you get.
Exactly.
But then you let it go.
But not everybody can do that. See, and then it's like
I know people who got their first high. They to this day when they smoke or whatever they do, they still high like that from the first time. Because I'm like, you've been smoking this stuff for like 30 years. You still got a
mentality,
a bit buzz like that, And
I understand. But it's some things you get older, you got to let go. You gotta let it go. Life passes you by if you don't let it go. You still with this person, and you clinging on to this person, and this person, even though this person does something, you missing life. Life passing you all the way up. You missing everything.
But they don't see that.
They don't see that.
So
they don't see that. They got that tunnel vision. They got that tunnel vision.
Now what's causing
It's almost obsessive. It can become obsessive. All they seeing is what's right here. They're not seeing life passing past them. They're not seeing none of that. All they care about is getting something back that they said they didn't want. You know what I would say? You don't miss your water until it's gone.
Yeah, until the well runs
out. Yeah,
Well, there's something. I have an aunt. God may her soul rest in peace. She was going with this guy for 27 years. She lived with him 27 years. Never married him. Didn't have any kids by him. And lived with him for 27 years. I guess he got, because she was clingy. I guess he got tired of her. And he met another woman. Now, he been with my aunt for 20-some years, but he didn't met her. He put out his house. Her name wasn't even on his house. He put out his house. Met another woman and married her. See, when you cling on somebody, they gonna eventually get tired of you clinging.
That's true.
Because saran wrap don't work all the time.
I see where you come from. I see where you come from.
And the clinger, not the clingy, will get tired of it. And they will leave. Then life done pass you by. You done miss a whole lot of stuff. And you just don't have nothing to show for it. I mean, what you gonna do?
Well, what is it that makes it though? What is it that makes a person want to cling to somebody?
It could be they can have abandonment issues. Some people can have abandonment issues. Where they feel abandoned with the guy or woman, leave them.
That's real good.
Right.
Because I know somebody like that. That's true. That's very true.
You making it look like they're sprung. You making it look like they're a finance committee.
They are.
And wow, we got all these diversities. And before I go on, we have to give you an alternate telephone number for you to call in. The number that you will call in if you'd like to is 270-498-2563. That's 270-498-2563. make a note of that, and we'd love for you to call in and put your voice in. Now, about this being sprung on the finance.
I knew you were going to get back to that.
Well, I had to get back to that. I had to get back. I mean, you know what? You know, folk get sprung for so many different reasons. But I think you said it best. Sometimes sex, you know, I used to wonder about getting sprung, and it was, you know, you got like thousands of people, and you get sprung on just that one. I mean, you know,
let me tell you something now. Sex overrated.
I'm not really trying to promote sex. I'm just saying.
Overrated. It's a feeling. It's a feeling, an emotion that you go through to get pleasure.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or to receive it or to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And sometimes we have some people with more experience. I put it that way.
There you go.
More experience.
Yeah, we have more experience. Mm-hmm. And by them having more
skills, they call it skills.
I'm trying to keep it clean though. More experience than others. And if somebody is the giver and giving you more experience than you have received or had, yes, you'll cling on that person for a while. But that'll wear out. Everything's wear out. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing on God's little green earth lasts forever. You either get tired of it, or you get more educated and knowledgeable on it, or you want something else. You turn. So, if being that's the case, why do people cling?
I think the thing that I look at mostly is, you know, we today's society is a society, and it doesn't matter what, you know, what your nature in the society, you know, whether you're a church going person or just a street person, you know, homebody, you know, it doesn't. But what I tend to notice about people is that some folk, not everybody, just some folk, they'll have bad stuff to say about them. In other words, but if you ask them, well, you know, what kind of person would you like to, you know, to be around? What kind of person would you like to have as a mate? Well, you know, I want somebody that's good, somebody that I can like, somebody that's got a whole lot going for them, somebody I could say good things about, you know. And they say that, but then I've seen a lot of couples who the mate doesn't have much to say about them, the other mate, and yet it's like it's you know, you gotta take the prime of you know, and I'm like, you know, why do people cling to the person or people that they don't want?
But you know what? A lot of times they already show those clingy tendencies before you even break up with that person, and it just gets worse after they see that you are actually leaving. Some people don't believe that you're gonna go
until you go,
and then it don't help. Now I'm gonna give y'all some science and got this a little knowledge on it. It don't help if you continue to
come back,
dip your toe back in that pool.
Once you leave that pool, dry
off and go to a new pool.
Right.
But if you continue to just stick your little toe over there, you know, that kind of gives them a little bit of you know, a little courage.
So that's clinging.
The other person's clinging as well.
Yeah.
They're clinging as well. And it happens. Yeah, it happens like that. But some people say, well, it's hard to let it go. Okay. When is enough? When you can truly let it
go. It's not hard to let it go. If you leave it alone, I guarantee you for 2 weeks, you just take 2 weeks, you forget all about it. You won't be bothered with it no more. But if you keep bouncing back, it's something wrong with your spirit.
Yes.
It's something wrong with your faith. You have more faith. That means you don't have the faith in God. You have the faith in man or woman. And that ain't how it's supposed to be. So you're losing your faith somewhere. And you got to get your faith back.
So would that be the reason why it would take some people more than 2 weeks? Because you said this shit.
Well, the reason it takes some people more than 2 weeks well, I say, Terry, I said 2 weeks. I said no calling, no texting, no talking on the phone, no meeting up nowhere, no going out to dinner, no
run
going
down that
over
list
nobody's
again.
house,
Run that list down again.
No doing errands for nobody. 2 whole weeks, and you will break yourself because then your eyes start opening.
You got to put some distance.
Then you see the spirit.
You got to put
then
some
you
distance.
see the
Okay.
You got to put some distance.
It's like a growing process to be spiritually strong enough to
it's not a growing process. The minute you stop doing all of
No, not that. I'm talking about to get to the spiritual point that you need to be to stop clinging. So
no. The minute you stop that, stop texting, doing favors, going over that. Okay, let me.
But what if it takes a person a year to stop?
No, it don't take.
I know some
if
people,
it take a person a year,
yeah, that's what I'm
stop
saying.
doing all that, then they spirit ain't right.
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't right.
Because
but
when you say something about the
what
spirit,
I'm saying, the minute you stop doing it, something gonna click in your head.
Oh yeah. But see, how do they
what did
stop?
I see in that man? Or what did I see in that woman? Why?
But see, most people don't get to that point, right?
But they don't let themselves get to that point.
And why?
I don't know why.
See, that's what we need to figure out.
That's the whole thing. Why they clean?
But you know what? It's actually easier to let go if you don't have something. I call it a common denominator in their relationship, like a child or something like that. When you have a child,
some people use that excuse.
Right, but they do. But when you have a child, you really can't just stop everything because you still have to communicate with this person because y'all should be co-parenting this child. So then it's a little bit more complicated in that type of situation because they have to have contact with this person. Now, this person could be telling you, I can't stand you, I don't want you around me, this, that, and the third, but yet they call you up. Well, can you come over here for a minute? My dishwasher's clogged. Something like that. They do that.
I understand that if it's a children or kids involved, you still stay away for 2 weeks. Then you come back to that kid. You're going to see that whole person.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I
get what you're saying.
Because you're going to always be that kid.
But you have to do it. You have to commit to do it for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. No contact. That's hard when you're a parent. When you're a parent, that's hard.
Yeah, if you're a parent, it's probably tough because kids get sick. But if you got teenagers,
I don't know. That means them 2 weeks your child just lose their mind, and
Yeah, but you can't live with your.
That's real what she said.
Yeah, but you gotta say you can't live with your child. Your child chooses his or her life. When it's their time to leave, wherever they go, they gotta, God will ask them, what have you done, or why you do this, or what have you done for me lately? They gotta get their spirit together. You cannot do that. Remember when we was talking about tough love, when your person go to jail and they want you to put money on the books and mom come visit them and stuff like that? No, I'm gonna tell you something. My son went to jail, and I worked for the Department of Correction. So anytime we go to another prison to even visit, we have to let the warden of the prison know where we at all times. Okay, that do not look good on your record. Okay, so when my son went to jail, I didn't go visit him. I didn't put money on the books. He'll call every once in a while, but he wouldn't call and charge it to my phone because I couldn't have that on. Because they look at your phone bill. Mm-hmm. I couldn't have that on there. So I had to give him tough love. And the reason I gave him tough love because when my son was 15 years old, and he started getting in trouble, stealing cars and stuff like that, trying to be stuff like that. Yeah, 15. I live in Chicago.
Okay.
Chicago.
And
when he started doing all that and stuff like that, I went to court for 2 years. They told him all you had to do was 100 hours of community service and stay away from gangs and keep yourself juvenile. We'll take it off your record before you make 18. And if they put him on probation till you made 18 and you stay out of trouble, we'll, take it off your record. He wouldn't do none of that. So I'm going back and forth. I said, that's it. I'm through with it. Tough love. I'm not going to send you no money. Don't call me. Whatever time you had in there. Yeah, don't call me. You can write me. They ain't saying I'm going to write you back. But you're going to learn. Because you didn't have to be in there. That's you chose to be in there. Okay. And if a child chose to get in trouble, when he's a teenager. That's his choice. He got to learn. See, he got to learn, or she got to learn, that life is not always pretty besides mama and daddy. Now, they can manipulate mama and daddy, but they can't manipulate the justice system, especially if you're a black child. Because they want to put you in there and throw away the key. The slavery is, well, anyway, that's another story. Let's not get on there. But still, so you got to let them do what you got to let them do what they do, because they got to answer to God for that. Okay.
But even like you were saying in the beginning about, why do people cling to someone that they say they no longer want? You mentioned financial. That's a biggie. I mean, sex is a biggie, but financial is a biggie too, because a lot of times, we go into court when we're getting divorced or separated or whatever, and we'll say, well, he kept me at this particular lifestyle. Now he need to maintain a particular lifestyle, but you're trying to break away. They still want that money. Or even like in famous couples, you hear about it all the time. This famous singer, and he's in a relationship, and the woman doesn't have any notoriety at all until she connects to this male singer. And then when he's through, well, their relationship is through, she don't want to go back to being Miss Ambiguous anymore. So she starts doing things to try to show up at the concert. He changed his number, she still find it. She's stalking him on Facebook, and on his Twitter and all of this other stuff. And now that we have all of this social media, it actually makes it easier for people to still bother you when you're done. Even though they say, and she didn't be mad about him anyway. He was a singer anyway. But yet and still, you still want to be a part of his world. So you're going to try to weasel them and run away back up in. And you know what's crazy? Some people will be like, well, maybe she'll change. And let them back up in there.
They don't change. People don't change. I mean, you can change if you want to for the better, but you got to get your house together, your faith in God, your spirit. Yeah. Get your spirit together.
Clean that lump from under that
rug. When money calls us, we tend to lose our sight in God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we see that God is where God is at. Money is right now. So we tend to lose our sight in God. And then we live the lifestyle that he or she have from the beginning. I said money is not the root of all that. A lot of money is the root of all evil. Think about it. It controls me. It controls society.
The love of the money.
Society controls you. But no, it's money, period, because the love of money. Remember when went to the temple and the taxpayers was selling stuff and changing and all that? And he knocked all that out the way and said, y'all will not barter or whatever.
He knocked it over. He turned over tables.
Well, he turned over tables and said, y'all will not, barter in the house of the Lord. Now, he just said, okay, it's okay for money, but don't have it in the house of the Lord. You can have it outside the church, but not in the church.
Well, selling this
but it was still the root of all evil because they had got so bad.
See?
That they was trying to bring it in the church.
But they loved it so much.
But it wasn't necessarily money in the church. Right. Like Mike was saying, it was what they were doing with that money. They were like vendors and selling things and it didn't say gambling, but I'm assuming some of that were probably going on too. They were in the corner shooting dice,
Chicken fight.
Chicken fight, Yeah, but it was that type of activity.
But society messed a lot of us up because when we watch TV or using social media or whatever, they tell us, well, you use, like I was saying, you use this shampoo, you wear this makeup, you buy these shoes, you wear this dress. Oh, this gonna look good on me, girl. I'm wear this, I'm wear that. And so the better you look, the more your purse costs, the more prestige you have. Okay? All I can say, you die, you can't take it away.
That's true.
You can't put all that in the coffin.
You can put one dress in that casket. You can't put all of them in there.
But you can also have faith in God and have just as many riches. that will come to you being money without society controlling you.
But I also like what y'all were talking about earlier about, some people may have psychological issues, I guess is the best way to put it, because when they're in this relationship, if their relationship becomes all that they have, if it becomes their, I'm going to use the word mammon, which is a spirit that covers money and some other things, but if it becomes everything that they are, then they all wrapped up in this person and they lose who they are. So when they separate, when that person separates from them, then it's like their identity has separated from them. Right. And they're trying to do everything that they can do to get their identity back. But your identity doesn't rest in another person.
Right. But it rests in who you are. They lost their identity when they was clinging to that saran wrap. Okay? So, yes, and once you lose your identity and everything, and you lose your faith. Mm-hmm. You lose your spirit.
Okay? And to some people, their relationship is who they are. That whole identity is through this other person. It's not like they're living their own life. Like you're saying, they got that tunnel vision and life is passing them by, but their life is all wrapped up in you. And that's why when, if you're in a relationship and you see that, that's a warning sign. That some people don't want to see it because they take it as flattery. They take it as flattery and they're in denial. But eventually that's gonna come back and bite you. Yes. If you see that this person is all under you all the time, that's never a good thing. When do you have time for you?
To breathe.
Exactly.
But some of them don't want that. They all for this person, I understand now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But let me tell you, if somebody, you can't make nobody love you if they don't love you.
That's true.
You can't make nobody want you if they don't want you. And you know this, so why pursue it?
But they might not know it. They might not know it. They might not know that, Stephanie. They might not know it. They might just, I'm telling you, their vision is clouded.
Yeah, but that's what I said about them getting their spirit right. They faith. But you gotta get, okay.
So how do they
get
from there to getting the spirit right? That was my question. How is that a process?
Okay.
Is that a process?
Okay, do this. Do this.
The 12-step
This is what you do. Going to be Janet Jackson now, right now.
Oh goodness,
this is what you do. You make a list. Remember the movie?
Okay.
You make a list. You put the good things that person are, the bad things that person. You weigh them together. The good out of the bad, then just keep that person. If the bad, you live off the good, then throw that person. Go back to the white. You gotta let go. You gotta let
That's interesting. I like that.
But if it gets to the point where if both of y'all clean, y'all don't want to let it go, then y'all need to go see a doctor, a psychiatrist, counselor, whatever they call it themselves. Yeah, and try to get them to evaluate the situation. And from what I can see, if it is happening like that, he gonna give him $50 or $100 an hour to tell you the same thing, and I'm getting again until you're free. 2 weeks.
You heard that expression though. I can't have you, nobody can. Mm-hmm. It can turn into obsessive behavior. I mean, stalking. I promise you, I've been stalked by the best. But they don't want you. They don't want you, but they don't want nobody else to have you.
When you get like this, then
was I that bad?
When you get it, you get the Justice Department. Then you have to get the police. You have to get the Justice Department.
They don't want you.
Then you have to.
But they don't want nobody else to have you. Simply because they had you, and they want you to remember their experience.
Well, that person crazy too. They need to
go
yeah,
that's selfish.
That's not selfish. That's crazy.
Very selfish.
That probably was control.
Yeah.
I think people have this thing that they really believe, though the person may not be conformed to the kind of person that they desire. I do believe that there are some people out in this life that think they have so much
power and control that they can convert a person. In other words, they don't say this phrase. They really don't say this, but they may not think of it to this degree, but what the action is saying that they are a god to this person, and they may not say that. They may not even approach the thought, but the actions. Because when the person, there's only one maker, and that's God Himself, and God is the only one who is the creator, and man even nowadays is trying to figure out how to clone a human being. Now they've really figured out how to clone, in other words, create another human being.
They figured out. It's just that society when I was in college in 75, that's a difference.
You should say 75.
75. I went to a program where they had, I went to a college program where they had, where you get, once you got high school, I graduated 75, that you can go to this college to just test it out. Yeah, if you like this college, you want to get enrolled in this college. But this particular college, okay, and they tried, even though they tried cloning a human being. And from my understanding, from what I was taught then, because I was into science at the time, is that they did it in the petri dish. They let it live till you get 7 months old, and they killed it because society wasn't ready to accept the fact that because you can clone a human being, but you can't give it a soul. Only God can give it a soul. That's why all. But if you think about it, all the animals that they cloned didn't live long because an animal, you gotta understand, listen to what I'm saying. An animal have pure soul. They don't have no sin when they come into this world. What sin have they been born into? None. Only man is born into sin. So they're pure souls. So if you duplicate an animal, a clone it or whatever they call it, genetic, make it, and it don't have no soul, it's not gonna live long. That's a hollow shell.
Yeah, that's
a hollow shell. So they ain't gonna never clone a human being. Never.
So are you telling me
they might be able to clone the flesh, but not spirit?
They ain't gonna. If they clone it, it'll be the use like a humanoid. It'll be robot-like, and they have to put data in it to control it because it won't have any thoughts of itself because it don't.
Like that character in Star Trek, right?
Yeah, like Data.
Yeah. But Data had feelings now.
Well, after
activate that chip.
So you telling me with the animals and their pure soul, when that dog is about to attack me, I just need to say, I know you got a soul in there. I know you got.
You understand?
I know you got a soul in there.
You understand? That soul ain't attacking you. The animal.
Is that what the Bible says? Is that what the Bible says? We sometimes that shit mean that's called Lord and the Beast.
Animal that's attacking you, not the soul. We have animals in soul. You gotta remember.
Sister soul right there.
The dog is attacking you.
Why I say dog? You gotta know.
The dog with that pure soul is attacking him.
It ain't the dog, it's the animal attacking.
Yeah, now I understand what the Bible says that man can fall Lord and the Beast.
But that's interesting though. The thing about the animals is that they naturally do what God wants them to do.
Right,
They do. He's giving us the freedom.
Yeah,
exactly what He wants them to do.
They have instincts and stuff like that, so they really don't have sin against them like man, because man was more. And man get worse and worse and worse.
Getting?
Well, not getting, but they are worse and worse and worse. But that's another story, so let's talk about that.
That's a good story.
Y'all take me off the subject, and I go on and on and on. I'm trying to stick with the subject.
All of us going to the same thing.
Right? It's going to the same thing, but I go on and on and on. So I'm just leaving it alone. But okay, we got the part about the sex and the financial gain and the gold. We didn't get the gold digger. Did we get the gold digger?
We didn't get to the gold digger. We didn't get to the gold
security. Why they afraid to leave this person alone? What they scared of? Is they ugly?
Would you call that codependency? Would that
Yeah.
be what that is?
That'd be a form of it, yes. One form of it, yes. Well, why? That's like a drug.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was just. We right there. We right there.
Yeah.
That's what I was just. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's like a drug.
Oh, it's like a cracker. Remember we talked about that cracker?
Oh, that cracker.
You ain't ate a cracker in so long, right?
I already got this cracker. Come on with this cracker.
Sit down on this cracker. This is the best dry cracker you ever tasted. What's up? I ain't never seen a juicy cracker. This is the best dry cracker you get. And you eat it, and it's so good. And then you eat it up. Then you go on to the next one, and you eat it up. Okay? So you ate that box of crackers.
A whole box.
A whole box. And that was the best whole box.
2 minutes.
In 2 weeks. After 2 weeks.
2 minutes.
You go back to that cracker, it don't taste as good as it was.
Salt don't taste.
Salt don't taste right. Taste too salty. Kind of stale. Kind of salty. You leave that cracker alone. Because that cracker is still the same.
Same.
It's just that you changed.
Thank you.
In 2 weeks.
You changed.
2 weeks.
He wants some of that. He wants some of that. He wants some of that. But yeah, you get it now.
I get it.
The cracker.
I get the cracker. Yeah, I do get the cracker.
But she right about that cracker because that cracker the taste. You change. Your taste change. People change. People are supposed to change though. They're supposed to change. They're supposed to grow. Now, as a couple, prayerfully, you grow together. But not always couples grow together. Sometimes they grow in different directions or at different rates.
Outgrow each other.
Outgrow each other. And the thing is that when that happens, that person that's clingy, they can't accept that. Because it's never the person that's out here that's clinging. It's always that one back here that's clinging. It's like a fishing pole. They're gonna reel you back in. Reel you back in.
Right.
And but they don't want you.
Right.
I can do better. I can make it without you. I don't need you. But they still
want to reel you in.
Reel you back in. And then it goes back to control. That's a form of control. Why would anybody, and I still don't
want to control anybody.
Want to control somebody else.
That don't love
Don't
them.
you have enough issues in your own life to relegate, delegate in your own life to take the time and energy it would take to try to control somebody else's life?
Well, yes I do. I got to pay a light bill and I'm worried about if the light bill won't get paid. If this person controlling me, how am I going to pay this light bill? If this person is controlling me, how I'm going to eat? I got to eat when they want me to eat, or when I eat when I'm hungry. See, it's
be like Misery. That movie Misery.
Break your ankle. Give a dog a bone.
Can't run then.
So what you gonna do? What do people do? What should people do? Don't want them. And they still clinging on. I think I don't say this is psychiatric because if I was
they don't figure that they have a problem. They don't see that they have a problem. Think about it.
Oh no, they see it. They know
they see it.
Yeah, they know it, and they know it. Let me tell you something. People know a lot. I acknowledge it, but they know a lot of things. They know that this person got a hold on. They know this person don't really want to. They really don't. They know this person don't want to be bothered with it. And they know it. So the best thing that they know people don't want. They know they won't be bothered. The best thing for them to do is evaluate yourself. You got to evaluate yourself on what you want and what you don't want. You got to evaluate yourself. If somebody don't want you, what can you do to get out that situation? Now, like you said, yeah, some people crazy, some people don't realize. But you should know crazy. That person was crazy for you to get together with. Because there are signs.
There are signs, girl. They signs.
We just got to recognize them.
There are signs.
There are signs that you missed.
Yes, learn to recognize
because you so in love or so infatuated
in lush with this person that you don't see the signs. There's signs. I promise you there's signs.
But then if you think about it, you say, yeah, I remember when this person did this or said this or did this crazy thing. Why would they do that? That person ain't right.
You know the best sign though is when they tell you about their former relationship.
Oh, let me
tell you about their former relationship.
When a person you dealing with, I got to get into this one because that opens up. When the person you dealing with talk about their wife, yeah, that struck a nerve. Because I really don't want to hear it. If I'm dating you and you talk about your wife all the time, I don't mind your kids because you will. Everybody talk about their kids and grandkids. But when you talking about a wife, when you talking about an ex-girlfriend, and you in a new relationship with me, and you talking about your wife and ex-girlfriend, I don't want to hear that.
In detail.
That's a turn off there. That's really a turn off.
They give you details.
Right.
Sex-wise, how big the thing is, how good this is. Come on, I don't hear all that.
You cannot judge me about another person that you've been with.
That's it.
In previous. Even though all of us different. We might sometimes come out the same mold or whatever, but all of us different. Personality-wise, spiritually wise, and everything. So when you go talk about, it ain't because I'm jealous, no. No, this is me and your relationship.
Right.
This got to deal with me and you.
That's it.
This ain't got nothing to do with your ex.
Thank you.
If you had wanted your ex, you should have stayed back with your ex. Okay?
That's it. Give us an L.
That's a soldier talk.
That's a soldier.
Got me out
I'm gonna tell you something now. This guy was dating.
That's it.
And this guy was dating, and he would talk about his wife all the time. Well, my wife used to do this, and she used to do that, and I don't know why she wear this.
Clinging.
But hold up. Here's the killing part. He been divorced from his wife for 5 years.
Ooh.
Okay? His kid is grown like that. But he's still talking about his wife. I told him, I said, oh, you sound like you still in love with your wife. Won't y'all try to get back? If I mention it, I ain't gonna mention that, but he was from Smyrna. Yeah. Won't y'all get back together? So that was a turn off. So when I sent him on his happy way that weekend.
Oh, she said on his happy way.
Oh, his happy way that weekend.
All right. I like that.
He called me, he texted me. I did not answer my phone.
That's it. You stayed 14 days.
More than 4. It only took me 2 days. 14 days. I let him know. I said, if he got to talk about his wife all this time, and he got to talk about what they did together, where they went together, he's still in with a wife. You need to go back to her. But you clinging because she don't want you. Ooh. So you talk about it to bring her in your life. You talk about you can't talk about the kids because kids grown got kids on their own. So you clinging to her.
But that was your sign though. But see, you recognize the sign.
But I see the sign.
You recognize the sign. It's always sign. It's always sign.
And I left them alone.
It's always sign.
To this day, he still texting because my phone having the number having changed 7 years. He still texting. And he'll say, Happy Mother's Day. He'll say, Happy Birthday. Does he know my birthday? And I say, nada, because I don't remember. I just see it, whoop, rinse it off.
Well, it really sounds like what all you all are saying is a type of codependency. I hear
Come on, Professor. Come on.
The codependency, which and people depend on folk for a lot of different reasons. Some are selfish reasons. Some have to do with. I guess mostly it's mostly a selfish reason, which is a kind of psychological disorder. And many. I just won't do the hug today. Y'all miss the hug.
We need the hug. We need the hug.
You need the hug. You using the educational part of it. Okay. Yeah. Well, most people you can't use that concept. You got to break it down.
Right. Well, I mean, codependency comes in many different forms. It does. It really, people sometimes don't say something to folk because they want to be accepted. Let's say like, there's this friend that's smoking drugs. You don't like drugs. You don't want to do nothing with drugs. You really don't approve of nobody. But it's something about this person that you want to be cool with. You want to
fit into the in crowd.
So you don't tell the in crowd. So you don't really say nothing about them doing drugs or nothing. Because you kind of want to be fitted with them. You're the in crowd. Whatever. They got something going on or whatever it is. Maybe they get free tickets to football games. I don't know.
But you never thought about their spirit. They can have a good spirit, a good heart, and be hooked codependency on this drug. Okay? You can see the light within them.
Right.
Okay? If you can hang on to that person, try to help that person, which is most cases hard to do. It's doable, but it's hard to do. You can bring that light bright, even brighter. So that's why some people hang on to people who they know are drugs, because they know they need help and they feel as though they can help them. But when you hanging on to a relationship, what help is there?
Oh, there's always help. There's always a godly help. There's always a religious and spiritual help.
But why do people not go to it?
Because because in their selfishness and in their pride, and that's what really a lot of we don't seek because of pride. Because a lot of times we tend to know really do already know the answers. To our relationship. I'm a firm believer. I've seen so many people, and I give y'all a good instance out there. There was this couple that when I was doing a relationship workshop, and after the workshop they came and they wanted to sit down and talk, and they went on talking about all their problems and issues that had been having for years and years. And they got to this one point, we even been fussing and complaining, almost fighting over ketchup for years. Ketchup for years. And I'm like, ketchup? Ketchup? The same stuff you put on your hot dog, ketchup. And I'm like, maybe people fight over cars, the bank accounts, but ketchup? And I'm like, okay. So I had to get down and I asked them this question. I said, now y'all two intelligent people, right? Y'all really intelligent. Yeah, we're intelligent. You can always find out if somebody has been actually declared as mental inefficient or if they're sane, sound, and have ability by just asking them the simple question. Are you intelligent? Do you think that you're stupid or dumb? Immediately, folks, I ain't stupid. I ain't dumb. I'm very intelligent. I'm probably smarter than you. So I'll be like, thank you for letting me know how intelligent you are. So I asked them those kind of questions. They confirmed, and I reconfirmed to them. You gotta be intelligent to have the big jobs and making the kind of money you're making and all that. You gotta be intelligent. So how can two intelligent, not stupid, not dumb, not people? If somebody came to you and said the same thing you said to me, how can you come up with an answer before I can finish up? I guess we get two ketchup. But for years, they fussed and argued for over ketchup. Because one liked it hot and one liked it cold. And because one don't like it cold, the one put it in the cabinet, kept it hot. They got mad. So they put it in the refrigerator. The one liked it hot, got mad. So for years.
I love the illustration.
And I believe that everybody always knows if you're sound. And if you say you're intelligent, if you say you're not stupid, you say you're not. I was gonna say that for the end. We got our Proverbs ignorance jokes at the end. But you know, folks tend to, for all different kinds of reasons, tend to depend on folk. I mean, you know, but it's not healthy for no party. And you know that you clinging on to that you're not one. I mean, yeah, you may see some good in you know, they might have a good heart, they're giving and all that, but they got a gray area. We all have gray areas. That's not saying just because they have a gray area, they have a problem in their life or a shortage, something that maybe I don't have or you don't have or somebody else doesn't have, that we stray away from. But there's a difference in the cling. Oil does not actually cling to something.
It just scrunch up.
But saran wrap. They even got the commercial. You stretch the saran wrap, tuck it under, and then you shake the oil, and see, it won't come out. Now, if you take some oil and do that, your stuff gonna fall. Now they both can get close. But sometimes, we get like some saran wrap. We cling and we don't know when to let go.
And even with that saran wrap, saran wrap, if you think about it, it's when you go to tear off that foil, it tear off nice and neat. Nice and neat. But that saran wrap, it be dragging and torn. And it's not when you got some saran, because saran wrap in your life. That's our new phrase. When you got some saran wrap in your life, it's not gonna be no easy, clean cut. It's not gonna be like that. And you need to recognize that out the gate. You think it's gonna be clean, neat, and easy? You fooling yourself. You should have got you some aluminum foil, but you ended up with some saran wrap. So that's
saran wrap and cracker. Wrap and cracker.
Saran wrap.
You can't let it go. But I think people lose their self. They lose their faith in themselves. They lose their faith in God. They lose their spiritual faith. They get to the point where, I'm gonna tell you, some people will say, "Well, God is not here right now. It's you." Blah 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 blah. God is always here,
always present.
But God is always here,
always present.
No matter what you do. Now, if you stray, He still be there waiting on you. So if you clinging to someone, He's best to believe He's sitting there waiting for you to let that person go.
Let the person go and cling to Him.
And cling to Him. But we all can't do that because we stuck on material things.
That's it.
That's it. In a nutshell. We're material. Everything that we like is material.
Right. We cling on material things. And once you cling on a material thing, you lose your spirituality and your faith.
Your perspective on life.
Well, you don't lose a perspective on life.
As far as your relationship is concerned.
But you lose
the life of your relationship.
And once you lose that faith because of another individual, because he just a smiling over here looking like Ollie on Lord of Holly. Once you lose that spiritual faith, you lost it in God. You didn't lose it in man, because you still got it, man or woman, because you still cling to them. Now, in order for you to uncling for the person, try the 2 weeks thing. Do not text. Do not come visit. I mean, they probably call you a fake emergency.
That's it.
But unless it's in the newspaper or the police calling you and asking you something, let it go.
I can see that working.
You got 2 weeks.
I can see that working.
Your spirit,
it'll give you time to get some space.
Right.
And some
your
clarity.
Spirit will just rush in on you like whoosh all together. You're like, why come I didn't see that before? Because you were blind. Why come I didn't do that before? I did something the stupidest because you was blind. Mm-hmm. You was like fast swept.
I like that. She said fast swept.
But now you're back. And God's gonna tell you. Your spirit, He's gonna tell you, well, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
That's interesting.
I tried to tell you, but you listen. Everything is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody can't have everything. Okay. So, I can get deeper into that, but I'm not, because of abuse and all this, I'm not going to try, because we have more than a long 2-hour show. But, I'm not a doctor by no means. It's just common sense. I'm not like, I do have enough like that, but it's just common sense.
But you figure that, a lot of times when people are clinging to someone that they say they don't want, they will tell you, they'll tell their family, and that's really bad when they start telling the family, how bad it is and all of this stuff.
They
and they the worst.
That's
it. They tell the family, this is the worst. This person did it to me. This person did that. This person did the other to me. But and still, they constantly calling. They call. And then my question would be, why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? And I would seriously ask that person, why are you calling me? And I would really want to answer. If you're giving me just crazy off the top of your head stuff, click, then I had to go to Stephanie's 2-week rule. It's 2 weeks. Just 14 days.
Maybe that's part of the solution, and maybe that's some of the answer.
But just like Jay said, everybody already know the answer.
I agree with
it's within themselves. And I had to tell somebody that yesterday when I was talking to them at the PX on Post. They asked me a question about somebody, and I just looked at them and I said, well, what do you think? And then I hit them with, I used it. Yes, I did. I'm glad you don't have a patent on that bad boy. I have to pay you. Because I said it. I said, you already got the answer within yourself. And once they got through talking, they actually talked themselves through to the realization that they want me to give them.
Right.
Wrong answer. You already came to that conclusion inside yourself.
Right, but you know what? That's usually reverse.
It's just like Jay said. It's just like Jay said. I mean, each individual knows exactly what you did in the relationship. If you know you're the problem, if there's a problem, you know what you did to create the problem in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Everybody knows. I believe that. I agree with that.
Right, but if you are still, if you know you did the problem and you still clinging, what's the reason?
I mean, that's just.
What is there?
That's
the problem.
That's why they're clinging, because they know they're part of the problem. A lot of times, all this stuff is done on purpose.
But if you part of the problem, then let go for the solution.
But you know what though? When I look at some relationships like that, I see it more as people that are I'm saying over 40. So you know how we got all these myths out here. That no decent men. Bad enough is hard to find. Again, when you're in your 20s. You might find a few scragglers when you're in your 30s. But by the time you hit your 40s, that pool is thin. And when you hit your 50s, it's thin some more. And 60s,
really thin on my card.
But
I ain't complaining. I enjoy myself.
But you know what? And then it's like, okay, well, I don't want him, but he's better than nothing.
I'd rather have myself. I'd rather have a good Lord.
Some people say, well, remember these old, I need a man around the house to do the yard work. I need a man around the house to protect me. I need a man in the house to protect me. I need
a dog. Get your dog. Take us some karate class.
I don't like sleeping alone.
Get your teddy bear, put it in the bed.
upside your head. You hear this all the time. The other person, male, female, don't matter, because we got abuse on both sides. Women abuse men, men abusing women. It's across the board. Okay, this person that you, let's say you straight up beside your head. They showing you they don't have any respect for you.
Yeah. They don't love pain don't hurt.
Love don't hurt. Pain do hurt.
Yeah, pain hurt.
Pain hurt. Love don't hurt. Love don't hurt. Yeah. Okay. No, not physically. It shouldn't hurt physically. I'm about to knock beside your head. That hurts. Pain hurt. But, yet and still, well, he loves me.
He can love me from a distance.
But the police can come and pull him out of that house. He's gone. Guaranteed. You can come back home. You apologize, and you're the one that caught the liquor beside your head.
I'm sorry.
That I made you hit me.
I'll do it again. Yeah. Either you find yourself in a pine box, or he be in the pine box.
Yeah, that's real.
But you clinging to something, somebody that's showing you that they don't want you.
Yeah, but you have some women. Some women is so scared of their spouse or something. I ain't never known a man to be scared of a woman.
I have.
I have too.
I'm talking about a relationship that he would bow down to her and she would knock herself.
Oh yeah.
Me personally, I haven't known, but some men.
I've seen that.
Some men is so
She was
scared
tearing him up.
of their spouse that they actually believe that he will go, and probably in some cases, very, very few cases, isolated cases, that he would probably kill a mom, father. He said, I kill a mother, I kill a father, I kill a kid, I kill a man, I kill you. Yeah. But after he said that, let him go to sleep. Get you some crazy glue and some duct tape.
Stop it! You can't be putting that on the air. Don't you put that on the air? Don't you put that on the air?
But no, God. When a man do that,
you need to bow our head and pray.
When a man do that, but when it gets to that point, it's time to go. It's time to go. When you fear for your life, it's time to go. It's time to get help. It's time to run to mama. If you don't have a mother or father, it's time to run to sister or brother. If you don't have nobody but yourself, it's time to run to a shelter. It's always help out there, and people need to go get help.
But it's back to the topic though. It's people out there that'll cling to that relationship no matter what. They just have to have it.
Like crack, huh?
Like crack. And then they hard to shake.
It's hard to understand. I can't fathom it.
I can fathom it. But certainly I can fathom it. But what I'm saying is, okay, if you can't get away from it, it's something wrong with you. Okay. Your house is not in order. Your closet is full. Have you ever cleaned out your closet lately?
That's self-examination.
Okay, so you gotta examine yourself now. What makes me cling to this person? What makes me want to keep with this person?
That's the meat of the matter.
What makes me want to have this person? Is it sex? Is it personality? You should beat me on time. Is it the way she dance? Is it the way she moves her body? It's something that I love so much about this woman that I'm going to cling on to this woman. But you got to understand, that's that woman quality.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to your quality?
Find you.
What did you get that attract that woman to you in the first place to make you want to cling on to her? So, what was your quality? Well, let's see. I like her cooking.
But
I like the way she walks.
And normally, like Jay said, for a lot of people, he used the word sprung. That does play into a lot of relationships because they get sex confused with this person loving me.
But that's lush.
It's a lush, yeah. I know it's a lush.
Lush,
but they don't understand the difference. They can't separate the two. You know, and I'm gonna put it out there. Sex is good, okay, if it's done right. But the thing, stop it. But the thing about it is that it's not everything.
Right.
Because girlfriend can do without it. It's overrated. It really
is. It's
overrated. But even though it's overrated, look at the rating on it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's way up there.
Yeah, but look at the disease that's following it. It's way up there.
But they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about that. All they're thinking about is that feeling. That feeling. Like Jay said, maybe she did something different that they weren't accustomed to.
They got toys for that.
But we know that. But what I'm saying is, maybe Tonka trucks.
Yeah, you right. Tonka trucks. Hot wheel track.
They have those things called supplies.
And demand. Right now, I'm demanding your supply.
But you know, it's something that they did that was different. But the thing about it is, what's if they gotta keep upping that and upping it, because like you said, it gets old.
Yeah, but still the cleanliness get old too.
Well,
yeah, it get old.
It gets
I
old.
mean, to the person that's clean or to the person that's being
the person that's being cloned too.
Well,
Because the person that's getting clean too.
that's a red wrapper only holds us over. You keep turning that bowl upside down,
Right. Because the person that is getting cleaned off, they get tired of before the person that's clinging on will get tired of it.
And that's crazy.
And then when they get tired of it and they seek other resources, then the person that cling on, she will have a broken heart, and they will really feel bad.
But you know what's bad about that is that when the person that's doing all the clinging finally come to that realization where this is over, finished, done, and their heart is broken, whoever's being clung to, don't slip back and feel sorry for them or pull back. Cause all that'll do is start that cycle all over again. When you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah.
Be gone. That's it. Be gone. And like you said, you know, honestly, it's really not that hard.
Right.
Once you get it set in your mind, I've had enough. I'm out. I'm done.
Once you clean your closet,
that's it.
It's
really not that hard.
Bad, you know, you do something about it.
Cool. Feeling bad?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I don't feel bad. You know, because the thing about it is, if you're in a relationship and you've given it everything that you got to give it,
and you can't give it
nothing else. You have exhausted all avenues.
Right.
And it's just not working. I can honestly say I can walk away with a clear conscience. And when I say I walk, I don't look back. What's that movie? Walking Tall. He didn't look back carrying that stick. He didn't look back. Don't look back.
Right.
Kind of like in the, made me think about the Bible just then, when he told him, "Don't look back." You look back.
You turn to salt. What she did, she tried to go back with it. She turned to a pillar of salt.
Don't look back. Once you walk away, walking away means you are headed in this direction. How are you going to move forward and looking back over your shoulder? You can't move forward like that because you looking back. You're going to stumble from a trip, fall, hurt yourself. You can't see where you're going looking back.
Right.
I don't look back. I do not look back. And that may sound hard, cold, harsh, or whatever. I don't look back.
Right.
I don't look back.
We got these days kind of people that.
You look back, there's nothing there when you do look back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wonder why I've been so stupid. Why did I go with this fool? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? But it look good.
I'll give you
Why, Lord? Why?
Is that why Sarah looked back?
Yeah.
She had it good back there.
Yeah.
She thought she had it good.
She thought she had it good.
She thought she had it
Lord,
good.
why? He said, Lord said, I'm gonna get you something. I'm gonna give you something better.
Better.
Mm-hmm.
Better.
I'm gonna give you something more of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give you something to wipe away all that memory. And he said, yeah, Lord, show it to me. I will clean my house. And you'll see all the blessings. You see.
You will.
deprived of the blessing and the stuff that you get when you let it go. The good that just comes to you because you let it go. But it says some part in the Bible where it says, if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out. Or the other ones, turn the other cheek. Well, yeah, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. And like I said, and I always said, you can love from a distance. Because everybody should be able to love everybody.
I agree.
Closest or from distance.
In loving from distance, it takes me back to a certain passage in the Bible where Jesus went in to heal this sick little girl, and he only took I think it was 3, 4 of the disciples. He didn't take the rest. He didn't. It's not one because he didn't love them, because if he didn't love them, he wouldn't have. He didn't take the rest. And sometimes loving from a distance, when he took those that he knew that would be in there supporting him. Not, sometimes you got those folk that though you love them and everything, they're not sometimes good in your corner. And they, and you have, like Doubting Thomas, we don't want to quit. But Jesus, you think you really can do that? I mean, I know I don't see you do this, but you think you really can do this? Or Peter, who, well, I'm going ahead with you, but I'm looking around. I'm still trying to figure it out. Just how you going to, Jesus took just those that wasn't going to ask no questions, going to do whatever needs to be done, and some folk you have to love them from a distance. In other words, you have to leave them where they are. You have to leave them where they are. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not there to help them. Right. You can help them, but some folk don't know when to quit. Because they do things over and over. If you had tuned in the last show, I asked a question: how many times does it take for somebody to really get it? It really only takes one. If they are in sound mind, intelligent, and have a bit medically mental inefficient. It takes only one. You think about it. Parents, when you're telling your kids over and over, how many times do you think, by what time do you think they really actually got it that you want them to clean up the room? Was it about the 30th time that you said you need to clean up the room? It was the first time that they got it. Now, if what it comes down to is whether or not they're willing or want to do it. Because telling them to clean up the room over and over is not saying that they, and I hear folks, we say stuff and it blindsides us, and we start following the pattern of things we say, like, how many times I got to tell you to go clean up the room? You just ain't getting it, because we're telling ourselves they ain't got it, so we ain't gonna keep on telling them because we ain't got it. And as soon as we get it, then maybe we can resort to other things that are more beneficial, such as, okay, I'm going to tell you just this one time, you need to go clean up the room, or you got these disciplinary actions. Because, see, God works with us in the same way. And he says, whatsoever you sow, so shall you reap.
But he don't tell you, I'm going to tell you one time. He give you many chances for you to get it together.
Yeah,
he do that.
But he also lets us fall, because Proverbs says, you didn't heed to no wisdom. Wisdom keeps coming at you. It's right there. You're not listening. You turn your back on it. And he said, and when you go calling for me, I won't answer. Matter of fact, I'm going to laugh at your calamity.
Okay, but something you just said there about falling, and I'm connecting that with helping people. Sometimes we can help people too much.
Yeah.
We can help people too much. We don't give them the room to fall. We are so quick to jump in there and help them out. Yeah. And sometimes you just got to let that booty hit the ground. You know, but then we wonder why they so clingy. Because we so good at catching them.
Right.
We so good at catching them. We create that issue ourselves.
Yeah.
We create that issue. Now the thing is to recognize it. Use help as a crutch. They always need your help. They need your help to change your light bulb. They need your help to fold the clothes. They need your help to do any little thing around the house. I need your help. I'm hungry.
Sitting right there.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Can you stop by? I know you're just getting off work, but could you stop by Kentucky Fried Chicken and get me a 2-piece and a biscuit? Really?
Ain't that kind of love, sister.
But see, that's just an excuse to see you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
To see you. Exactly. And you got to recognize that. But a lot of people be like, well, it's just taking them something to eat.
Oh,
it's just, I'm just going to go over there because, you know, it is on the top shelf and she can't reach up there. You know, come on now. Get on a chair and climb up there and get it yourself.
But if a woman asks a man, oh, you off of work, bring me a 3-piece on your way stop in Kentucky. He gonna bring it. He gonna be, ooh, I'm going to go. That's why he would do it.
But you know what? I know of this couple, and over the summer, and he tickled me. Him and his wife were separated, and he would just constantly be at work talking about something. Well, I went by there, you know, she called me because she wanted something to eat. She called me because she needed me to pick up her medicine. She called me because she needed me to do this. She called me because she needed to do that. And I'm like, oh, here was my favorite. I don't believe a woman should pump gas. So she met me at the gas station so that I could put the gas in her car. And I said, but I thought y'all was separated. What you doing pumping gas for? Well, I just don't believe that women should pump gas. Hold up.
Women been pumping gas since they had
But the thing is, you know, and then he constantly complaining about, I don't want to be with her. She calls all the time, this, that, and the third. And I said, well, every time she calls you, you go running. You know, I said, come on. I said, you're creating this. And then he hit me with that again. Well, I just don't believe that women should pump gas. I'm going to stop everything else. No, when you stop everything, that means everything. Because once y'all are divorced, if you go through with it, she going to be divorced from you. You still got to go pump her gas. You know, at 5 o'clock in the morning, you pumping gas. I said, that's ridiculous.
She gonna have somebody else pumping her gas.
Exactly. But that's just crazy to me.
She gonna find somebody here. Pump her gas. Pumping yourself.
Yeah. But it's like you said, it's codependency. You know, it's not just women on the side that's clinging. Men cling too. It's a back and a forth. It's a back and a forth. And one of you has to be the one to say, this is it, I'm done.
But I think it's more the loneliness, because when you get up a certain age, people are afraid to go back into the dating
That's it. That's what I said about that food.
Yeah, and they're afraid to go back into the dating relationship. Mm-hmm. Because things have changed since maybe 10, 15 years since they met this woman. But, or met this man.
Hey, she got an afro.
But it's been a while since, they started dating. But I'm here to tell you, things ain't changed.
Don't not get old.
Right, it ain't changed. Oh, clothes will get old. They recycle the kids.
Ain't lying. They back you right.
What we used to call bell bottoms.
They call them flare jeans.
They call them flare leg jeans. Mm-hmm. We used to call what they call thin. What they call them? The real skinny jeans. We call them.
The straight leg?
Straight leg jeans. So they bringing all that back.
But it's still not good to see a man in skinny jeans. Just to put that out there. That's true.
You're not going to see spandex.
No,
we don't want to see that
I
either.
like it when they had that sprout. Ooh, Lord. But anyway, that's basically what we need to do.
But I do like that 14-day rule. That does make sense.
Yeah.
To put some distance and to put some clarity into the relationship. And I know a lot of people be like, well, I'm going to try. They might last 2 days, 3 days, and then they Try it, for real. I really think that'll work.
I'm gonna tell you what God loves. Once you're through with somebody, be through with it.
I ain't lying.
Okay? And that's true. That's what God loves. Why hang on to that person unless you're gonna get back together and hope it honky dory? But you know what? Anytime you break up with somebody or your relationship failed or whatever, and y'all try to go back, and then it never in this lifetime be the same.
But you know, Bible does make it very clear, and this is on a spiritual note that when it said in Luke to those disciples that Jesus, the 70 disciples that he pulled together, sent them out to spread the word. He said if they don't receive you, in other words, they don't accept you, they don't like you, they can't hear you, they don't perceive you. Well, if they can't, he said leave them. Kick up there, yeah. Make sure you find a dust doormat. Clean off your shoes. Dust it all off. You might take a little brush, and sometimes you might have to just put a little brush down there, clean all the dust off. In other words, don't have no remnants. Don't be like Sarah. Some dust. You think you can take it back. Some dust. You get home. Oh, I got some dust. I need to go put back on the grass or something. And keep moving forward. Now, it's not because he's not suggesting that for selfish reasons. Some folks think, okay, that's an excuse for me to just get out of this relationship or whatever. But if you're in a relationship, and there's a difference between the relationships of dating, relationships of long-lasting relationship, in other words, an investment relationship, and a marriage. Because really before you get married, you're supposed to have thought it all over, thought it completely over.
That's right.
Before you said I do. Now, yeah, God has given some areas of privilege to be released from marriage.
Excuse me, God did what? Gave some release from what?
For being released, but it's only certain, and many people just think that only adultery is the only area where a person can be released from marriage. The Bible also says in Corinthians 7 that if a person who is an unbeliever decides to leave, let them leave. It said let them leave. Let them leave. Not cling to them. It said let them leave. Because as I think it was you that said, God probably will have something better for you that comes along the way. But sometimes we can't see that because we're so busy clinging. And it's gone about their business. You done got stuck in your head. Now you might not be around them, but in your mind process, in your whole aura of your day, you clinging to that person because now it has affected the way you live. Because this other person that left you, they done went about their business. They probably done established another relationship, and you sitting at home eating the popcorn, eating the ice cream, clothes piling up. I mean, you're not taking care of yourself. You start to look run down and all that, and you're just sitting there clinging to this person.
And you're not leaving room in your life to allow other things to come in because you're so stuck on this one individual.
Because they're too scared to go out into the relationship or dating world to find someone else. In every relationship that a man or a woman have, whenever that relationship ceases to exist or they decide to break up or whatever, they're going to always find somebody better. You're going to go a step up. Always a step up and not a step back.
I don't know now because
because you recognize what you've been through, so that step ain't gonna bring you down.
I got one for you.
You say you always find somebody better,
right?
Not necessarily.
Because you recognize the step that you've been through, what you just got out of. You see the pause and pause for that. Okay, and when up, and when you meet somebody else, they're gonna always be better because they're not gonna have the flaws that you just get up. So you stepping up. You're not
but not everybody can recognize that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but my ex, cheated, did what he did, and when he did what he did, he didn't do something with somebody that was a step up from me, and I took my time because I was in the office for counseling, and I said, Pastor, if you supposed to cheat up, not down, right. And he cheated down. Well,
but you can tell his was lush.
Yeah, it was.
You have, she did something to him that you would do. That was lush. So he's down.
Probably let him hit, right?
No. She let him walk all over her. That's what she did. She let him walk all over.
She did something. That's what I just said.
Yep.
She did something that you wouldn't do, that she would do. That's what he had.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. When you exit out of a relationship, your next relationship should be better because you should have learned something from your previous relationship. But not everybody does that. Some people make the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Until it hit them though. It's gonna hit them
over and over again.
Might
and
be
then,
too late, but it hit them.
Yeah, but I'm like, doggone, when are you supposed to get it?
Yeah. But some people learn fast. Some people take a while. You got them slow learners. You got them quick learners. Some people just slow learners.
And some people leave one I call it a restricted relationship, where it's a clingy type of thing, to enter into another relationship. It's the same thing. I had a girlfriend, 3 relationships in a row. And each time the man just dominated her, She had to ask permission to go out with her girlfriends. And then when she did come out with us, trust and believe, he would show up where we were at. But he was
father figure.
very, very clingy, very clingy. Every relationship she was in, and you're right about that.
It
goes back to the relationship that you have with your father.
It goes on.
It does. It continues on into, especially.
Are y'all familiar with Freud?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
into our adult lives.
So she needed that father Peter Pan syndrome.
She said Peter Pan.
Yeah. So it went. Yeah.
But and it's ridiculous to me that I'm like, man. But finally, thank you Jesus. She broke that chain. She broke that chain. But what she had to do was she had to pack up and move. And she moved way out in the country.
And she cleaned out her house.
Isolated. Yeah, girl, she cleaned out her house. And she was isolated. She was isolated. She was out there in the boondocks. It was like no men out there.
God spoke to her. Yeah.
And what happened was now she moved back to Jackson, Mississippi, and have met this wonderful man. But she had to take that time to get into herself.
Right. Get into herself. Clean up her closet.
Because
make up her bed.
But what's also true of these clingy relationships is you can't really tell. When you try to tell somebody you in a clingy relationship, you met with all kinds of opposition.
They ain't gonna listen.
All kinds of opposition. They don't see it.
Right.
Until
you can see things they don't see because they're blinded.
They tunnel vision. And what do you do then? I mean, do you still try to, help them to see it? Or do you just sit back and allow them to go through whatever it is they got to work through?
And let them go through it.
I've been told
they will see it themselves.
I've been told just, hey,
let them go through it.
It's all up to that individual.
Because the more you tell them, the more they're going to resent the fact that you told them.
Yeah, see, because
so
I know
it alone. And let them sit back and
be like Jesus, right?
Go on now.
1 or 2 times.
When you get it together, be like Jesus. When you get it together, I'll be here for you, but you go ahead and do your thing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why we tend to think that we do more. We do, as people do, try to do more than what Jesus did. I mean, he's supposed to be the example, but he never said nothing no more than twice. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we're intelligent, sound mind, and got ability to reason and ration.
Well, he know what some of his disciples wasn't that intelligent because
I disagree.
He spoke to them.
No, I disagree.
And a lot of them didn't. No, you understand. Back in that day, they wasn't that education. Only
I think they were intelligent. You know, and then you could talk to somebody right now, and could be on your job. Now you will listen to them. Now some they more that they use their mind toward, and they could be talking. Say like it's about artwork, and you just listen. You be like, wow, they so intelligent because they're talking about something that they could.
No, I'll be like, oh, they're really into art.
Into art, and they're really smart. You hear the key word, smart about art.
Yeah.
And now, it is. I believe that it's because of how people use their intelligence. Because you can choose. And it's not that you have been gifted, because gifted to be with intelligence, or gifted with smartness, or being able to ration or be realistic. But because we have set up a pattern, as you know, that's famous scripture, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if we set up a pattern of choosing not to resort to our intelligence, then of course, when somebody is coming talking something intelligent because of your pattern, you just don't resort to the intelligent conversation.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
And not that you would not be intelligent, because you have conformed yourself to be a person to not resort to your intelligence.
But that reminds me of something that Tyler Perry said. I love Tyler Perry plays, not the movies, but the plays. And in one of his plays, he said, you would think that a drug dealer would be an ignorant person. He said, but a drug dealer is one of the most intelligent people you could ever run across. He said, because he knows how to make them, he know how to buy it, cut it, make a profit, add to it to make a profit.
Stay away from the pole.
He said, that's it. He said, now imagine if they took all of that and put that knowledge into a legitimate business. He said, people think drug dealers are ignorant. He said, but they really not. He said, they're very intelligent people. And think about it, honestly, and I'm not knocking the higher educational system. I have a degree, working on another one. But the thing is that people sometimes they don't respect that common knowledge. They don't respect that street knowledge. Because in order to survive Chicago, New York, Baltimore, D.C., you gotta have it. You gotta have it to survive.
But to go back what Jay was saying about people are smart, but they're smart in different ways. Let me give you an example. I can't remember, but some part in the Bible it was talking about knowledge. I think it was John in Revelations, if I'm not mistaken, where he was saying that God give you free will in so many words. I'm breaking it up. I can't say it like the Bible said, but he was giving you free will. He was giving you an option to open all doors and seek knowledge. Now, if you fail to seek knowledge, because there's more, in other words, he's saying there's more to it than you think it is. And if you fail to seek that knowledge, well, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But I gave you this mind to seek this knowledge to learn, because you're never too old not to learn. And you're never too old to learn. Everything you learn, each day you're learning something new.
So an old dog can be taught.
Yeah, old dog can be taught.
Look at mine.
But if people don't see this knowledge, and they stuck in this rut, they fall because they didn't seek the knowledge.
And you're right, the knowledge is out there.
They didn't seek the knowledge to learn that they clinging. They didn't seek the knowledge to be the clinger. Okay? Because they didn't taught, or they didn't want to go through it, or it was just too much for whatever reason. They didn't seek that knowledge to do that. And so by them not seeking that knowledge, then they do become stupid in a way. And they do. They do become stupid in a way. And whether they not bona fide, like you said, but they do become ignorant or stupid in a way. Because ignorant is when you're not no knowledge of it. You're not trying to get the knowledge of it. You are ignorant of the fact that you're a clingy person because you don't want to know different.
And you're ignorant of the fact that you are an intelligent being and you're not even realizing.
And you're not really, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you got two doors closed. So being that said, you have to clean out your closet. You gotta get all them skeletons, all them little bones you got in there and clean out your closet in your mind. You gotta sweep the dust, get all the cobwebs out, open your mind. Oh, think outside the box. Most people don't understand what people mean about thinking outside the box. I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, thinking outside this box means thinking outside your realm of reality. Okay? If you're in a reality where you know this is real and this is real, and you can see, taste, smell, and touch it in your world, think about outside of your world where you can do the same thing. You can see, taste, smell it, change it if you will, bag it up, go back into it, turn around, do a twist, but you're outside your box. And once you realize you're outside your box, you see how small your box has become.
You got a little bubble, yeah, man.
Your box is like this in the world with a big box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when Jesus was telling them that, John, I can't remember, I'm not that good at reading stuff straight out the Bible. When he was telling them that to think outside the box, use your mind, because there's other things in the world that's wonderful. So if you cling to a person, and it's more out there in the world that you can accept, that you can feel spiritually, or that you can clean out your closet with, or you can have faith in it. Use that. If you have to get you a hobby, count how many stick pins in the box, or how many toothpicks in the jar. If you have to count that jar every day of toothpicks to get your mind from that cleanliness, you'll be surprised. The spirit gonna hit you. These jars of toothpicks in this woman's house that you don't need to be, or in this man's house, or with this man or woman you don't want to be with, because the spirit will let you know. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You're going to see things that you ain't never thought you'd see before. Your eyes will open up to things you never thought. And you're going to question yourself, why I'm with this person? Why I'm keep bothering this person? Why do I let this person do me like that? Mm-hmm.
That's it. Why do I allow this person to do me like that? Because when you're the person that's being clean to, you also have to accept some responsibility for the situation.
Right.
What are you contributing to the situation for you to be? And don't be like, well, they just clinging to me. Well, it's like this.
But you doing something for them.
It's like this. It's like this. It's a pull and a tug.
Yeah, but they had to be doing something to cling to them.
That's it. Take responsibility for what you're doing to enable that situation to continue to move forward as it is. If you're really tired of this person, if you're really tired of this person, like so to say, 2 weeks. I agree with that.
Because let me tell you, and if you don't know how to clean out your house, let me give you how to clean out your house. Okay?
You need some background.
If you don't know how to clean out your closet, to have faith in yourself to get from this clinging person get from you, this is what you do. You take the person's phone, the cell phone number out your phone. You don't call that person.
You block it.
You block it. You don't communicate with that person. Go buy them 2-piece chicken in the bed
on your way
home. You do not go over that person's house. If you have kids, especially, I understand small kids, yes, you might keep that line of communication. But sometimes they can fool you or mess with you. So you can come over there.
Just go over there and spend the time with the kids and then leave. If it's an hour or two.
Why not pick the children up and take them with you?
You either can pick the children up, how your mama, sister, brother, whoever.
Thank you.
Bring
Thank you.
To you.
Thank you.
Or if the children are old enough, they can come to you if they really want to see their father. Okay? Because we don't want you to force yourself upon the children.
That's right.
Okay? So, unless they sick, but be mindful of the games they're going to be playing in between that.
Tell about the games.
Because, one
game.
Oh, baby, what you call got a fever? Could you come over here and help me with it? Oh, baby, I need my grass cut. Could you come over here and cut my grass? But you see how I stretch it.
That lawnmower.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after the show. We tell you after the show.
I don't know now.
We'll tell you about that lawnmower after the show.
Baby, I need some money for gas. Can you get none of that? None of that. If you need money for gas, if you need to eat, go with mother, father, sister, brother, friend, soup kitchen, but do not go to that person. Okay, do not talk to that person within 2 weeks. And I guarantee you, the spirit will move and tell you and see why you being involved with this person.
You got to duck and dodge them tricks too,
right?
Because they gonna be sitting there plotting and planning on ways to come in contact with you
with a big old bone. Talk about baby. Could you come in here and cut my grass?
But they gonna find a way to try to trick you.
All kinds. Do not fall for it.
They'll call you at your job.
Matter of fact,
email you.
Don't even go over there. Okay? Don't even go over there. Because you gotta understand, if a person can make you cling to them, just think about other stuff that they can make you do. Control. Let me go rob that bank over there because I need some chicken. I want me a brand new car. Because you rob them. It's control. So just think about it. Do you want to be controlled or do you want to be in control?
That's it.
Do you want to control your own life?
That's it.
Instead of let somebody else control your life?
That's it.
Because in the end, you're accountable to God for your life. That person accountable to God for their life. Okay? So if you do that, if you had to crab in the corner for 2 weeks, eating ice cream, chocolate chip cookie, and popcorn,
do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do, but don't make that call, don't make that text, don't come and see. Especially if you got teenage kids, your kids know who their daddy is.
That's it.
They know where their daddy at if they really want to go see their daddy. They know how to call their daddy if they got a daddy got a phone. So the wife cannot, or the spouse or whatever cannot use that child against them. And they know that, get into your quiet room. And I guarantee you, the spirit gonna hit you. The spirit gonna hit you. And if you don't want the spirit to hit you, I'll hit you. Just
so that's a cool, y'all.
I'll slap you right in the
Might just be worth it. You heard what she said. Got some wisdom in them.
I know there's a lot of things that you all just covered. And one of the things I found it most interesting, said that, a lot of times they don't get it, or, but basically you said they don't get it. You sister said that, that once they go through it, that they do get it. And I kind of, it just made me go back to 2 Timothy in the 3rd chapter. Now, I know a lot of people know this part about the 3rd chapter in Timothy because it's very traditionally said in the last days, there'll be men lovers of themselves and all this stuff in the last days of perilous time. But when it gets down to that 6th verse, or actually the 5th verse, it says that that in the last days there'll be men having a form of godliness but denying the power. Some might say with no God within them. But then it says, have nothing to do with because these kind of people, they are no good. They turn away from them. But the 6th verse is where it really gets interesting because I don't think a lot of people recognize that it talks about even the women of the day. Because it's not just women, but men too. They that of today, they seem to some people just go through 1, 2, 3, 4 relationships, and it be seemingly the same kind of people, and the same type of character of people, I've heard some people say, I like a bad boy. And it's just something about the bad boy that just turns me on, and they hook up with it, and they have the issues. There's also something about the bad boy image. I'm not saying that all bad boy images do not have good character, but there is a general, all right, and wisdom says in general, that you most likely, not 100% will, but most likely you will hook up with somebody who with the bad boy character who is not going to be what you really want. But that 6th verse says, after it says have nothing to do with these kind of people that have this form of godliness but really don't have no God in them. It says have nothing to do because they are the kind of people who worm their ways and tell you all kind. They good salesmen. They can throw a pitch, man. They can throw you nice little field talk line. They can worm their ways into homes. Women, some of them say silly women, and who are loaded down with their sins and swayed by all kinds of evil desires, lush, and love of money. Oh, they got a bank account, girl. They got. You seen that house? You seen that car? And always learning. In other words, they know what the truth is, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. In other words, the acceptance. They won't, people, I do believe people always know. You really do know when a person's not up to really be good. But we just like what they have. We just like the flowers, and we want more. Those kind of flowers. Ooh, they bought 24 roses. I ain't never got 2. I might have got 5. But I ain't never got 24 one time. And so we want to, kind of like sometimes we get stuck on certain things that's what we really kind of want to keep it going. And it just goes on. It says, but it uses an illustration. There was these 2 magicians that Pharaoh had called James and Jambres, and you have to know the story of Pharaoh and Moses to really understand, because it doesn't describe all that, tell you all that, but you have to know the story. It's kind of in real brief. Moses turned a wood stick into a snake, and then back into a stick again, solid wood stick. So these 2 magicians say, "Oh, we can do that." So they go get some real snakes, start playing the little charm music, and they pick them up, and because they were charmed, they just went straight. So you see, we can make the snake straight. They didn't say make it in the woods. And so by Pharaoh just so eagerly, just not wanting to be outdone by Moses, just by wanted his passions, his desires to be met. So he just accepted what even though he knew it didn't turn into wood because they became straight. That's what he went with. He's like, my magicians can do that too. So and then they went out and Moses turned a whole sea. Now y'all know how big a sea. You can't even drink 5 cups of a sea. All right, drink that. Right. Really, and a whole sea. You could build, if it was land, you could build whole communities out there on the sea. But turn it into real blood. And the magician's like, oh, we can do that. We can do that. Y'all hear that? Turn something into blood. We can do that too. So they get a bowl, not a sea. They get a bowl, a bowl of water, and they put red dye in it. See, we can turn it red too. And they say they turn it into blood.
You know,
oh, wow.
Yeah, see, we can turn it red. We can not that we can turn it to blood. And Pharaoh said, "See, my magicians can do that too."
That's right.
Yeah, and so and so you know, and it's something how in today's time we get so caught up in certain things that we tend to and we don't listen to some of the pitch lines that folks tell us. We say, well, you know, they seem like they were good, but you know, the greatest way to learn somebody is watching them with someone else, or watching them around other folks. Watch how they treat their mom and dad and their sisters and their family. Watch how they treat their best friends and all that. They always run around lying to them. Eventually, they're going to run around and lie to you. All right? If they always lose their temper either with everybody else, eventually they're going to lose their temper with you. All right? So, I mean, a lot of times, I say it all the time, I believe people always know who they're dealing with. But how we use our intelligence is another thing. It's not that we... And I believe that God has blessed everybody with an intelligence. I mean, sometimes we cling to folk for all kinds of different reasons or something. You know, we've shared a bunch of those different reasons tonight. We hope you heard the show and that you were able to tune in. We still air this show. It'll be there for all our past shows. If you did not receive the phone number, it's 270-498-2563. You can also chat, do live chat on either one of the connections, Ustream, website, and social stream, and Facebook, Twitter. And we'd like to hear what you have to say about our show. Even if you say you disapprove, we'd like to hear what you have to say. We just appeal to you. But I do want to get to any of y'all got any last words before I do this.
Send all your checks to this.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. There was no crackers.
No crackers.
And remember, when the dog is barking at you, say, "Dog, you got a soul."
You're not supposed to be doing that.
But that's the animal instinct.
And as I give these last words, I just want to say, the Proverbs says, how long will you simple folks stay in your simple way? I mean, how long will you not use your intelligence? How long will you not use, when you get good advice and stuff? How long? What's it going to take? Well, and when when stuff come up on you, like a calamity says, I will laugh at your calamity. I won't hear you. So if we've been given a good sound mind, and we've been given intelligence, and we've been given advice and wisdom, and we know how to discern the truth and all that. So it just the Bible says that when we become ignorant, we make ourselves a fool. That's not me, that's the Bible. Right? In Proverbs, you can see that in almost every four sentences, and you will see a fool sitting right there. And so if that is so, if you really believe that all this love for a person, and that just because you got this love for a person, and that you're doing everything, you're spending money on buying them cars and all that, that's going to make them change. You just might be a little bit ignorant. Might be. If you think that out of all the things that you say, that you giving them, and we have to say it because this is a reality show, that you're giving them great sex. I know some church folks didn't like that.
They didn't like that.
They didn't like that.
But it's my brothers and sisters.
And you're giving them great sex. And you think that just because you're a great sex is going to keep them, you just might be a little ignorant.
Might be a whole life.
Might not be wasting time, but you.
If you think that all you need for a relationship is some is a bunch of gifts on your birthday, Christmas, maybe something on New Year's Day, Valentine's Day. You can't forget that one. Oh, you better not forget Valentine's Day, and you better not forget that birthday. And even sometimes on some other special days, 4th of July, they want a big bang. So and you think that's what it takes to keep you happy. You just might be a little ignorant. Because eventually, if the right person ain't in your life and you're going to have these trials, tribulations, and troubles, and these anguish and all that, eventually you will get to the point where you forget the candy, forget the flower, forget the big house, forget Valentine's Day. Yeah. I need some peace.
Yes. Amen. Woo.
And the only way to have peace is by seeking the right avenue, and that's what God Almighty in all His wisdom and all His ways. Yes. All right, now we're not a church show, but we are a religious-based show. We talk about everything, and I do mean everything. And if you got something to add, just call into the show. And until our next show, we all just say,
2 weeks.
Hey.